Women's Corner is all about educating women, informing women, and here we tell success story of every woman across the globe, across the country, across any career that would be. And of course, we have an amazing guest in the studio. It's been, I don't want to put years, but I'll say it's been a very long time we've had her come into the studio or even had her via Zoom. But, of course, I'm so glad that she came to the studio. She's looking very pretty. I'm just going to introduce my guest first before I start talking because I need to ask her some very certain questions for the program to start properly. Good morning, Mojisola. How you doing?
I'm very great.
It's good to have you in the studio.
I'm so glad to be here.
So tell me, what has been happening? Like, what has been happening in your world of recent? We need to know. Let us in into the information.
Okay. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
First and foremost, I would love to say that. All right. I've been engaged in some community development programs.
Great.
You know, managing it with my career and also being a mother.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite challenging.
Very.
To create that balance between the
Career and being a
the
mother.
It's been quite challenging, but I've been coping.
You've been coping. I can see you're coping really well because trust me, self-care, intentionality is written all over you and you're looking very good. Okay, usually before we start the show, I am going to introduce her properly so we get to know who Mojisola is. Like I said, she's an amazing person. She's been with us from the start of this program. So I'm going to do the honors of introducing her. Her name is Mojisola Mayowa Olugbemi. She is the founder of More Mental Reform Foundation. And of course, she is the CEO of Mofe Fresh Feeds and Creative Hub. She's also a mental health advocate. She is an event planner. And of course, she's a caterer, a creative director. And like I said, she's been here from the start of the program. So she is a woman advocate. It's good to have you on the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me once again. Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Yes, I'm happy you could come. And of course, guess what, was talking about something very important. And one of the, I think, biggest challenges that all mothers, single mothers actually go through. I'm not the one to educate us. Trust me, it has to do with mental health. And, okay, I was about to say something. I'm going to skip that part. But we'll be talking about challenges of single motherhood. It's a whole lot to be a mother. Now imagine when you are doing it alone by yourself. And of course, some people will say the worst hypocrisy or the worst thing they will do to a woman is to tell you you're a superhero when obviously you shouldn't be shouldering everything. But we have women who have been shouldering these things and have been doing absolutely well. So because we have that topic to discuss about, we're going to go up for a tip. And this tip is for all mothers generally. What you need to do for yourself, the self-love, the intentionality, the fact that you're a mother. You should not forget that you're also a woman. Don't forget that you have your name to be here, so you have to take care of yourself. So let's quickly go for a tip for mothers. And of course, we'll be right back with Mojisola to discuss the challenges of single motherhood. Emmanuel, please play the tip. We'll be right back.
Six tips for time management. Time management is something that most people want to improve on, especially at work. With cell phones, social media, and frequent email distracting us, being successful at time management is progressively hard to achieve. However, utilizing these 6 tips that end, you are on your way to fewer distractions and more productivity at work. Set reminders for all your tasks. The key to time management success is to know your deadlines and set reminders. We suggest setting a reminder 15 minutes before a meeting or event so you can prepare and gather your things. Create a daily planner. Make a list of tasks you need to accomplish that day and note in upcoming meetings or deadlines as you become aware of them. As you complete your list, make sure to tick off the tasks you've completed. While activities are both urgent and important must be done, suggest spending less time on activities that are not important to gain time for activities that are not urgent but important. 3. Give each task a time limit. On your daily list of things to do, pen in how much time you think each task will take you. If you don't finish, stop when the time you allotted ends and come back to it later. Sometimes moving on to different responsibilities and then coming back gives your mind a fresh start and a new perspective. Block out distractions. First and foremost, turn off your email notifications. Set 30-minute blocks to check your email every couple hours instead of checking it every 15 minutes. Make sure you minimize non-work distraction such as your cell phones, social media, or your favorite online store. Establish routine. While at work, create a routine that makes the most sense for your position. Why is this important? For starters, if a chaotic day comes along, you will still work through the issue while adhering to your routine. But sticking to your routine, you won't be able to procrastinate. Most importantly, your mental health and stress level will thank you. Get organized and delegate. Get help from others. Delegating means assigning responsibilities for a task to someone else. Freeing up your time for tasks that requires your expertise. Identify tasks others can do and select the appropriate persons to do them. Select someone with the appropriate skills, experience, interest, and authority needed to accomplish the task. Be specific. Define the task and your expectations while allowing the person some freedom to personalize the task.
All right, welcome back. Yes, you're still watching Women's Corner, and of course, that's the tip for time management. Well, I think most times being a single mother, it takes a whole lot to be able to manage your time for yourself, taking care of your kids, and still maintaining your career with no support system. When I mean support system, is no husband. Okay, what you said is already doing. So I think we should just get on. We should just get on with it, with the challenges every single mother go through. So, what are the I want us to major on the major challenges that single mothers go through. So what are the few challenges that single mothers go through that most people do not know? You know, normally we know the other ones. We know the finance. We know that the child does not even have a father or somebody. But there are some things that single mothers go through that maybe the normal human beings would not really understand. So what are those major things that they go through?
All right, thank you very much. One of the major challenges single mothers go through is the emotional and the mental health aspects. And like you said, these are areas of a mother's life, a single mom's life that no other person might know about. And the things she suffers in silence and that she can't talk out, she can't speak out. So, every other challenges, like you mentioned earlier, the financial, the time management aspect, balancing our own life and having to take care of the children, having no support from a partner or spouse, still boils down to emotional health, you know, and the mental health of the mother.
Which is very important for
a
single mother. Now, okay, let's assume I am a single mother, right? And I'm going through a lot, and I do not really know how I can actually manage that issue. I don't know how I can, be better. I probably don't even have the people that I can really confide in, because I feel like they already have the stigmatization of you're a single mother. Maybe I had a child out of wedlock, or I got married, divorced, and of course I became a single. Yeah, you understand. So what is the best thing a single mother can do at this point that would help her emotionally? Do you think she has to get someone she can talk to, or I don't know, maybe there is a magical thing one has to do?
There is no magical thing, actually, and we cannot overemphasize the place of support for a single mother. But when you finding help, you have to find it in the right places.
Sure.
Like you said earlier, stigmatization is one of the things that a single mom faces. And if she wants to find help, if she goes to the wrong place, it can add to her frustrations. So it's first and foremost, I would like to say that a single mom should not be afraid of looking for help, but she should focus on finding it in the right place. We have support groups for single mom. We have free counseling sessions that are for single mom and therapy. And also we have some other single mom networks where a single mother can be attached to another single mother. that for guidelines, you know, we have some single moms that have already gone through these challenges and overcome, and they are willing to mentor and support other ones to also be able to go through the challenges. So the place of seeking for help can never be emphasized.
Seeking for help. So who are the right persons that they have to seek for help? Like I said, you have to be very careful the people you go to seek for help, because if you're not careful, when you're going to seek for help, you end up having more frustration, adding to the frustration you already have, which could make you have a mental, I don't want to put mental breakdown. I would say mental shift actually. So what can one actually do to make sure that you don't even break down further away from the reality you want to how you should be?
Okay, I will say first, your self-care comes first. As a single mom, your self-care, before you actually go for help, seeking help outside, you should take care of yourself. Now, it's not as easy as said, because you are the caregiver, you are the breadwinner, you are the same person that will still handle the children education and a whole lot. So, but in between all these things, you still have to take care of yourself, because if you are not well taken care of, the children are not taken care of. Are you getting that? And so a single mom should find time to take care of herself, to attend to her own self. Because eventually, if you don't attend to yourself, if you don't take care of yourself, your children will be affected. That is number one point that I want to emphasize. That is the self-care. Then secondly, you have to look for professionals intentionally. People that are professionals, counselors, therapists, that can give you professional advice. Do you understand? Because I said earlier that if you as a single mom seek for help in a wrong place, it can lead more to your frustration. So you have to seek for help in the right places. We have platforms for single moms where you can connect with other single moms, where you can, we have platforms where we have created safe places for single moms to be able to share their emotional challenges, and you will not be judged. You will not be judged. We have several networks, for that. So when a single mom is seeking for help, then you seek for it in the right place. Okay,
so please, can you even share those networks? So for single moms who are listening, and obviously they need help, because trust me, I've seen a lot of single moms that it's not like I'm trying to be funny, but I've seen some single moms that sometimes the way they react, how they say things or how they believe in things, I feel like naturally this is not who they are. Then when I go further into checking, because I have a lot of friends who are single mom, when I go further into checking maybe from the background, their mom, I found out that, okay, this was never who they were. But because there was a shift, definitely, you were single, you got pregnant, thinking that you're going to stay in the marriage, you left. So a lot of things has to change. Now, I feel like somehow, while we're still checking the mom, it kind of rubs off on the children if we are not careful. So how do you think we can be able to save the children? Despite, I know it's almost inevitable for a mother, a single mom, not to go through what she's going through. It's difficult for you to find any single mom that will tell you she has had it easy from the beginning. So maybe when she see a partner or when the children grow up, I don't think there's anything like that. But how can they protect their children and make them understand that their situation can never and should never be their own situation, like that's affecting the children?
Definitely, yes. You are very right. Because anytime a single mom passes through emotional challenges or mental health breakdown, it definitely affects the children. There's a transfer of aggression. You know, she's not fulfilled. She had her dreams, goals, aspirations and goals. She can't meet up any longer because life situation at a point in time had to redirect her, and she has to be the almighty for her children. I'll first and foremost say that a single mom should not neglect her spirituality. The ultimate help comes from God. I believe that. The ultimate help comes from God. Then seeking help from outsiders too, like I earlier said.
Yeah.
And if you look at our society as at today, because I told you earlier that I deal in a lot of community development programs, and I see a lot of young girls out there that have become single moms. They can't even take care of themselves.
Talk about
less
taking care of the
yes.
children.
And this is a result of what we see in our community today. We see a lot of children that are not well raised, and they become a menace to the society. And if we neglect this issue of single mom, it's like we're still coming back
to the same thing again.
Yes, we are coming back to it, because if even two parents, I mean, a man and a woman raising children is not even as
it's not
in
easy.
Nigeria.
Yeah, talk more of one person.
Of the full parenting responsibility shifting to a woman is a whole lot. And I think in our bid to seek for help, the society should also assist in helping single mom. Let's stop the stigmatization. So a lot of single moms didn't actually wake up one day and said, okay, I want to be a single mom.
Yeah, true.
Life situations, although we have some women that
I was going to come to that.
Yes.
I was going to come to that. But finish what you're saying, because I have a question on that part.
So I was saying that the society should also rise to assist single mothers. Of course, we can have educational scholarships for the children. There is nothing stopping us from doing that. Even the government, there is a way we can have educational, because she wants to struggle to make money. She wants to send her children to school.
Feed the
children,
clothe them,
and education is becoming really expensive. So if there is something like that, a scheme, maybe some of our NGOs can begin to look into that to be centered on scholarships for single mothers. You know, when the responsibility of finances is taken off her, it can relieve her a little.
Yeah, there's a bit of sanity somewhere.
Then also we can have some social development. We can have trainings for single mom on emotional intelligence, on self-care, strategies on how to take care of themselves, how to balance that time. And of course, we can also create opportunities for single mothers to have flexible jobs. You know, as a single mom, if you want to look for employment, and you can't do 9 to 5 like some people would do.
No way.
But if there's no flexible employment opportunities where they can actually consider single mothers. And you know what I'm saying is, what I'm emphasizing on this is, if these things are not done, it will tell on the kind of children that are being raised. And our society. Look at the situation we have on drug usage and a lot of children on the streets. And if you look down from our own research, we find out that so many of them come from dysfunctional families, single mom, and when it comes to a point that she can no longer, she pushes them to the streets. She pushed them to the streets.
Or maybe she just feel like, I'm tired. Like,
I am tired. She's exhausted. Yeah, she's exhausted because it's actually exhausting. The financial pressure can be so exhausting.
Okay, now look at all these things that you've said. It baffles me when you said something which I know for a fact a lot of women have decided to toe that line. And that some people will just look at it and like, well, okay, I'm not saying men are not doing well. We have some very good men, of course, in the society. Yes. But some will be like, why would I go and stay under a man that will do this, do that, control me, blah, 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 whatever excuses they have, and they will sit on their own. Now, I am not even talking about illiterate. I'm talking about people who are well educated. Yes. They still want to go the line of single mom because they will tell you, I would rather raise a child, adopt children than stay with a man whereby, you know, so I don't know, why do you think that is? And it's not like they are coming from a single mom's home. No, they have their parents. And of course, at this point, sometimes the parents cannot do anything because they're adults. So they can, you know, toe that line. So what could be wrong that a woman will say, I will just sit down now and decide that, okay, I want to give birth. I don't want to be any other man. I just want to have my children. What do you think would be wrong with me mentally to get to that stage?
I think, to be factual, I will not advise any woman to actually decide to be a single mom. But like I said earlier, some situations may occur, like you are aged, no partner coming. And the age of the woman is, and she has to adopt a child to train. Do you understand? And we have situations of the examples you gave, that somebody just outrightly decides that I'm going to be a single mom. Then I think something is wrong, actually.
What could be wrong?
But the thing is, if you want to decide, that means you should be mentally prepared for what
you're about
the
to go
decision you are
into.
making, because it is not about you making a decision. It's about we are interested in the child you want to raise. We are interested in the mental health, emotional well-being of that child. And we are interested in our society also, the sanity. Because you can't just decide that I want to be a single mom and you don't want to give it what it takes. Then if you make that decision, then you must be ready. And prepared to give it what it takes.
But I feel like, aside from the woman with the egg thing, whereby there's a certain age you feel like you don't have so much egg that could get fertile. So it's not like you can't give birth actually, but biologically they just tell you it's better to be safe than sorry. Do you understand? So, but for those women that are probably very okay and they just decide, like you said, something must be wrong. Just decide, okay, I want to give birth. Now in my head, I'm like, is there a possibility? I find it very hard that it's possible for such a woman to raise that child properly. I don't know. Maybe I might be wrong. Because I feel something is already wrong somewhere.
Is wrong somewhere.
Then how would you, teach the child better?
Because raising a child, it involves not only me being an independent woman, financially, it requires also the other side of the father. And that's why most children raised by single moms, if you as a single mother, you're not careful, it will be imbalanced. Because the other aspect is not well properly considered. Do you understand? So for a woman saying, I want to raise my child alone, I don't need a man, it's not the way to go. It's not the way to go.
Okay, well, that's for all women, because I've heard a lot of women. In fact, I've seen some persons that will be advising women, look, your time, just go and marry. You understand? If you can't marry, just give birth. Yeah, a single mom. There was somebody who always get married.
We are in the era of single mom. Like we have this mentality now
of single mothers. Like,
is
there a freebies to these single mothers? I don't understand, because I feel like it's a lot of work.
I think we have lost some values as women.
I would agree with that. It's definitely values that has been lost, because I do not think a woman, I'm not saying people that came from a single home, a woman who is well cultured, well nurtured, well mannered, responsibility and accountable, would decide to just sit down, aside from the reason of age and reproductive system.
Probably life
circumstances, health, anything, will do that. But you are okay, you are young, and you just decide.
Women want freedom. You don't want to be under any man. You don't want to be submissive.
So should we be talking to the men, or should we? Should we be talking to the men, or should we be talking to the women?
We should also be talking to the
men also. Okay, we'll come back and talk to the men. Now let's quickly take a break, and of course we'll take another tip. After the tip, we'll be right back to continue talking about the challenges of single motherhood with Mojisola. Stay with us, don't go nowhere.
6 tips for time management. Time management is something that most people.
Tips on work-life balance. Plan ahead. Plan ahead to combine work activities with leisure, social or fitness activities. If you find yourself with several virtual meetings back to back, try taking them while you go for a walk. You could also take a call outside and invite your friend over to work with you. Set blocks of time for different tasks. Designate a time to check and respond to messages, a time to take meeting, and a time to do mentally intensive work. It helps to anchor these tasks around the times that you're personally more productive. End work at a certain time. There's a saying that work is planned to fill the time allotted, and when you work from home, it's even easier to let work spill over into personal time. Set a time to end work for the day and reinforce it by powering down work-related devices, locking your office or scheduling something afterwards. Take time off. When you're home all the time, you tend to try to work through illnesses that certainly would have kept you home from office. Time off, including sick time, personal time, vacations and bereavement, are important ways to nourish your well-being. Find something you love outside of work to engage in. If you have something you're excited about during after work, it will make it easier to disconnect from work messages or end your day at a predetermined time. Our hobbies boost our energy and vitality. When we play and feel creative, we bring our fresh selves back to work. Practice mindfulness. When you practice mindfulness techniques like meditation or breath awareness, you become more in tune with emotions and physical sensations. Paying attention to these feelings help you learn how to notice when you might be suppressing a need in order to work. It's hard to return to that spreadsheet after you notice your stomach rumbling.
Right, welcome back. You're still watching Women's Corner, and of course, that's how to manage your work and a life balance. This is what exactly every single woman needs: how to manage her career, her work, and at the same time still do her life and still enjoy life to the fullest. Yes, we still have Moji Sola Mayowa Olubemi in the building, and of course, like I said, we're talking about challenges of single motherhood. But this time around, we said we should talk to the men a little bit. Let's talk to the men, because we have some women who are deciding, or who have even decided, to be a single mother. And it's not something we need to push into the society. We need to change that narrative. Yeah, we have to change it, and we have to educate the women. So we'll start with the men. What do you think men need to do? Now, before we talk about the absentee fathers and all of that, what should men avoid so you don't push a woman to that extent? What should men avoid so you don't turn a woman to a single mother? What can they do, actually?
All right. Okay, thank you. I look a little bit serious right now. You know, a lot of men should also get the right preparedness for marriage. You know, being married is not just, or being a father is not just you want to have children.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? When you go into marriage with that idea of just wanting to have children. It's beyond that. It's beyond that. A man also should also be involved in raising the children. A lot of philosophies on people say is women. If you are permitting me to speak this Yoruba,
no, of course, why? Go on.
Ọmọ tó bá dá tí màmá ni.
Ọmọ tí ò bá dá, okay.
Ọmọ tó bá dá tí bàbá.
All right.
That a child that comes out well in life is for the father, and a child that comes the other way is for the mother. That's a very wrong mentality, because actually, whichever way a child comes out in life, it's still both parents that should be held responsible. So men too should be actively involved in raising children. Do you know that it goes beyond I'm a father, I'm the man of the other, I'm the father. No, be involved. I've seen situations where some children are more connected with their fathers, even more than their mothers.
True.
Do you understand? So it takes this high sense of responsibility for men to also be actively involved in raising the children. Before you start having children, please, we are crying. Let us be prepared. Let us know what is involved, even as men. It's not because the woman is one that will carry the pregnancy, she'll be at home with the children. No, the man too should be involved.
Right.
Both emotionally, financially, in every aspect of parenting. It should be, because we find situations where, because of financial pressure, some men became absentee fathers. And I say I have so many examples that they ran away from responsibilities. And
but honestly, you wouldn't entirely blame them, because the economy is not even helping to.
I will still blame them.
Yeah,
I will still blame them, because those kids didn't actually.
They didn't ask you to bring them. Okay, that's
so that was why I said, before you start having kids, please
plan very
well. Look at the economy should be part of what you should consider.
Yes, true.
Actually, yes.
Because there are some persons that you don't have that much. Why give birth to 3?
Yes, no, it's actually
why do that?
It's not okay. I see a lot of young children on the street. I see a lot. You know, I told you earlier that I'm involved in a lot of community development program, and it saddens my heart. Where is your daddy? Daddy is not around. Mommy, she has gone to look for what will be hit.
Wow.
Where are you? On the streets.
Wow.
Hustling.
Not
Before
in
you know, he's
school.
involved in drugs and all that.
Wow.
Please.
That's pretty sad.
Sad.
Okay, so now, is there any recent challenge a single mother shared with you that you probably want to share to people what you preferred as solution to the woman, so that people can also learn?
It's up to this morning. A single mom still chatted me when I was coming to the studio.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
A very young lady. And she sent a message to me that, Ma, you know, I have a lot of platforms where we have free counseling. I have other partners and all that way. And she said, I am depressed. I need an advice. For her to open up.
It takes a whole lot, actually.
It's something that we shouldn't. As I'm leaving the studio, I'm attending to that. I've been
Immediately.
chatting, I've been talking to her. I need to attend to her immediately because I knew she has up to like 4 children. Catering for them herself.
How did that come about to be? How did she have 4?
Anyway, it's most of these young women we have to go to have their own mistakes. Okay. But I wouldn't want to judge them by the mistakes because I am more particular about our well-being and the children being raised properly.
Yes, true.
Do you understand? And most of the times, so it's not the fault of the girl. You know, just you find one guy that just feel like he wants to start having children, just bring up another underage girl and got her pregnant. And before you know it,
you know what came to my head right now? That such men need to be arrested.
Really, the society, you know, the things that are going on in our society, I think we should begin to give a lot of focus to these issues. I tell you, we should begin to give a lot of focus because if we don't, we'll keep getting a turn out of rogues, touts
on the streets.
Yes.
And that will
it's becoming out of hand.
It's
getting out of hand. It's getting, if you are really on the streets, if you are really into this community stuff, it's getting out of hand.
Wow.
It's getting out of hand.
I don't even know what to ask again. I'm sure
you said what I think a young lady, if you find yourself in that situation, you need to rise up to. She has to get herself empowered too.
So this young lady now that's asked the question, she's depressed. What would be your advice? Because there might be somebody out there too that is probably going through the same thing. And probably, please, we say no to suicide. Do you understand?
She took the right step.
Yeah,
by reaching out.
So
the first step you take is reaching out.
Reaching out.
Because there are situations you cannot control.
Yeah.
And finding the right person to talk to. That's why I said there are platforms that you can reach out to. Of course, there are people that are committed to
doing that.
Giving support. Yes, support groups. We have support groups. We have mental health therapists, we have counselors, we have a whole lot of them.
Okay, can you mention about 1 or 2 of the support groups and how they can reach to the group? Then you can tell us what such a single mother in that situation now can do just to wrap up the show. Yeah.
All right, so like I said earlier, she can reach out to different support groups, or individuals like me that she knows I'm into mental health and counseling. Okay, we have few of them that I recognize with. I have Living Vines Mental Health Foundation, which I'm also an active volunteer. Okay. We have Mental Reform Foundation, which I am
you're the CEO, yeah.
So we have such, and of course we focus more on the younger ones. There is age group we deal with, but there are always exemptions when we find cases where, and we also refer to other partners.
Okay,
yes.
Okay.
So,
wow. All right. So what's the solution to that young lady now that she just reached out to you and you have to hold her by your 2 hands? In fact, hug her because you can't let her go. So what advice would you give to her just for people who are, probably in the same situation?
Okay, I would just advise her to be strong. She shouldn't give up yet. There is still hope. There is still hope. She has taken the right step by reaching out. I would advise any single mom going through any mental breakdown to believe that there is still hope. And don't be afraid of reaching out. Yes, don't be afraid. Don't worry, because there are a lot of stigmatization. I found situations where in some churches that the women will segregate single mothers because they don't want them to go near their husbands.
Oh.
Yes. So, a lot of things that you face emotionally that you can't even relate to people. Yes, it happens.
Can imagine.
It happens, yes.
Can imagine
they,
you.
they want to protect their homes too.
Really? By messing up another person's mental
They don't
health?
think it like that. It's because we are in mental health. We understand the implications of these things.
I kind of understand if you even go to the public, a social gathering, and they're segregating the single mothers but right where there is religion, where you should accept it.
It happens.
That's too much.
It happens. So, like we were saying earlier, I will advise that any single mom passing through any mental, emotional breakdown, don't give up. Reach out. Reach out as fast as you can. Reach out.
Right.
There is still hope for you. There is support for you. There are people that still believe that will still make themselves available.
To,
yes.
Yeah.
Of course, there are skill acquisitions programs for single moms that's focused on single moms. And I'm so passionate about it.
Wow.
Yes.
I love your passion.
Because of the children.
I love your passion.
Yes.
Thank you very much for standing for the women. Thank you so much for supporting every single mother out there. And of course, this is to say to every single mother out there, if you really want to personally talk with Mojisola, you can actually reach us on Facebook and on YouTube. Just comment, and of course we'll send you a contact. And if you still want to know the organization she talked about, the communities where as a single mother you can be part of yourself, and of course for your children, which are your ultimate future, you can also learn how to be able to protect them while you're going through what you're going through. And trust me, it's just a matter of time. This cup will definitely pass you over. Well, at this point, I want to say thank you very much for being on the show, which has been amazing. I was so emotional that I got, when you say I went blank, like, people are really going through a whole lot.
It's quite,
well, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much. Really appreciate it from all of us at Galaxy TV. Thank you for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Keep the good work going. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So we've come to the end of the show. And the funny thing is, I don't know, all weekend I've been putting up very motivational quotes and videos about women. And, it's not just even about men. It's about how people treat you, your emotions, your mental health, which is very, very important. There's only one thing I want to leave by. If you feel like you're going through a whole lot, make sure you don't just talk to anybody, because trust me, I can say I've been there, whereby you talk to somebody about your problem and it makes it worse. So, but you can be better by talking to the right source, the right person, professionals, people who can actually talk to you and get better. So yes, this is me saying a big love to every single mother out there. We love you so much. So keep fighting, keep being the best. And of course, you're going to come through. I wish you all the best. Anyways, this is the end of the program.